Year's resolutions and goals. I was planning on including that in the last video, but I just forgot. I think I rambled way too much. So I'm filming it now, so this will be a bonus video on Sunday maybe. I don't know. And I'm going to briefly talk about my goals for this year. I've watched very similar videos by other creators, and it just makes me happy to listen to what others want to achieve this year and how motivated they are. So here I am making my own video, right? So let's begin. Now I have written my resolutions and goals down, and I'm worried that it's a bit of an overkill. I don't know where I'm going to find the time for all of this. I truly don't, but let's just see what happens. So before that, I'm going to slightly fix the lighting and I'll be right back. I don't know if this is better or not, but let's just roll with it. So my first goal of this year, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, so this might be a surprise to a lot of you, even if you have been watching me for a very long time, but this year I want to get back to writing. Now, growing up, writing was always something that I was doing. It was like my thing, right? I was able to read very early on, when I was like 4 years old, and by the time I was 6 or 7, I was writing my own stories, books. I also remember I wrote a song and it was about mouses and a cheese. That's a long time ago, obviously. And then as I got older, I was still writing stories. I was also writing some scripts for a short movie or movies that was in high school. And then I turned 18 and I thought, okay, well now it's time for me to become a real responsible adult, and I should not have time for such things. And I tried really hard to kill that creative part of myself for whatever reason. I was even dead set on going to film school, and then I've completely changed my mind and I was like, no, I'm gonna do business instead, which like was a terrible choice. It is what it is. And I stopped just with every, creative thing. Now still, sometimes, actually now that I think about it, at uni I wrote like a song about a terrible situation that I was in, like with some of my toxic friends, and I showed it to my best friend at the time, and we like laughed about it for hours. But other than that, like I was just not interested in anything creative really, and I had to find my way back to it through, well, actually ASMR. That was like the first creative thing I started years ago. Well, this year I am taking it a bit more seriously, and it's hard to start again because it's been years at this point since, well, that's not true. Sometimes I would write like poems and like song lyrics even, but randomly, like I wasn't actively trying to pursue it, right? And anyways, this year I'm taking it seriously, and actually what prompted me to do this is that I saw an ad for literary contest, writing contest, and I thought, you know what, maybe I should do that this year, why not? case I'm going to write something, I don't even have to send it if I don't want to, technically, right? Because I know it's probably going to be terrible, and I would be okay with ranking at the last place, like if needed. It is what it is. But I thought, you know what, I want to try it. Why don't I try it? And second thing, I don't know which language I should write in. So technically, Czech is my mother tongue, right? But very early on in my childhood, I have acquired English as like a second language very quickly, and so now sometimes when people ask me, I just say that I'm bilingual because like I can communicate in English, write, think in it, dream in it, all of that. And English is also the language that I would write in mostly, even like growing up, or maybe since I was like 14, 15. So I'm like, okay, what should I do? Should I go for like a Czech writing contest or an English one? Because with Czech there would be less competition, but with English I feel like I'm a bit better because I have practiced more. I'm even more comfortable with English on camera now. Like when I'm talking in Czech, I'm making so many mistakes. So it's just not because I cannot speak the language, but because I'm more nervous and uncomfortable. But anyways, so I was thinking about doing one English contest and one Czech. Or maybe more, I don't know. But I don't want to like overwhelm myself. But I want to try it because at some point I feel like maybe I would like to get my work published one day. Don't know if that would happen or when, but I have to get better because if I will not practice, I'm never gonna get better. So I feel like I'm okay with even coming at like a last place. And then maybe next year I can do this again, and then the next year again, and like in 5 years I'm going to be like, oh wait, actually I got better. Because last year I had so many new ideas, and now I'm actually reading a book about writing because I didn't know how exactly I want to execute those ideas, but I do have a lot. So that's my biggest goal for 2024. Second goal, there's a lot. I talked about this for way too long, but second goal, learning Korean. Well, I got better again. In Korean, my pronunciation is terrible. That's why I don't have a Korean ASMR channel. Maybe one day I want to do that too. But I just cringe at my pronunciation because I can hear it, how terrible it is. But I can comfortably get by, you know, in Seoul. It's funny that people usually, or like my friends would tell me, oh, I cannot even practice Korean because everybody speaks to me in English. Well, no one ever speaks to me in English in Seoul. No one. Always Korean, no matter what. So I was always like kind of forced to practice that way. That being said, it was difficult when I didn't speak the language very well, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Now I got better, but I'm not fluent yet, so that's another goal that I would like to complete this year. And actually put the time and effort in it. Which last year I definitely have done that. Still, I mean, I know that at some point I want to like quit my job and study Korean at a Korean uni. Go back to school again. But until then I want to at least be really comfortable with that language and be comfortable in that environment in general. Korean speaking environment. So I have to get better in that. Third goal. There's a lot. Gosh, this is an overkill, I know, but third goal. I would like to this new hobby that I found. It's much more rewarding and it's much more relaxing because I'm actually making something. Reading used to be my #1 hobby for years, which is great. I mean, I have nothing against reading, but I've noticed that with actually making something with my own hands and being able to see the results, it's just much more heartwarming and relaxing. So maybe that's why I'm also drawn to writing so much, because I can create something, but I would like to do that too this year, and I don't know how I'm going to find the time for all of this with like work and YouTube, but that brings me to my channel goals. Actually, I'm going to like skip a category and go back to it later, but regarding my channel, I want to try new things this year. By the way, you can hear the wind outside a little bit, I think. Anyways, where was I even? Oh, the channel. I want to try different things because I feel like I've put myself in like a box, and like, don't get me wrong, like, this is still mainly a hobby. Well, when it comes to Patreon or membership, that's different because people actually pay money for the extra content, so I know that I have to deliver what is promised, and it's not like I can just film a video when I want to, you know, that's a bit different. But with YouTube itself, just YouTube, aside from like Patreon, I feel like I kind of was doing the same things over and over and over again, and I'm gonna do something different this year, so you might be seeing very different content from me, but hey, at least I'm trying something else. Also, I want to invest into my channel a little bit more this year because I've been filming with the same equipment for years now, and don't get me wrong, like I love my camera, but it's not the best for videos. It's perfect for photos, which is why I originally got it in the first place, like years ago. They don't even sell it anymore. It's been like, I don't know, 8 years at this point since I've got it. So at the time I got it for the thing that I wanted, but it's just not the best when it comes to filming videos because I have to manually focus, and sometimes it focuses on like my mic instead of my face. It's a lot, and I've noticed that even the battery life is just slowly dying down. But that's not my priority. I feel like my priority right now would be getting a proper ring light. And there's this ring light, I cannot talk for some reason, that I wanted to get. It's this heart-shaped ring light, and it's the cutest thing ever because when you use it, like your eyes actually reflect like the tiny hearts, and it's just so cute, and I wanted to buy it, but I was waiting. I'm still kind of waiting for like better timing to get it, but I know I want to get it this year hopefully. So, and after that I should figure out the camera situation. But anyways, also I want to start doing sponsored content every now and then. It won't be too much, but I mean, I've been avoiding sponsored content like a plague for the last 2 years at least, and now I'm thinking like, why am I doing that? Because it feels like I'm shooting myself in the foot with, you know, not doing sponsored content. So yeah, this year I do have like one thing lined up already, but I don't know when that is gonna happen. And year. And I want to just get better with scheduling as well, mainly with Patreon, because sometimes I post everything at once, and I would like to actually schedule things, like new things every week, instead of like posting 3 audios at once. So I want to get better at that. With YouTube, I feel like my schedule is pretty okay. Like, I always post around the same time. So, okay, final category is health and, well, is it the final? Second to last. Health and fitness and my sleeping schedule, which has been terrible last year. Oh god, at some point, if I would fall asleep around 3 a.m., it was a miracle, okay? My sleeping problems have been just raging last year, and they still kind of are. So sometimes I go to sleep around like 4 a.m., 4:30, and it's because I just can't fall asleep. Now I've learned that it's kind of like a coping mechanism of the brain, that it almost tortures itself to cope with stuff. And now I'm like so over it, because I'm tired 24/7 and I need energy, okay? So that's one thing that I really want to fix in 2024. Another thing is I want to like fix my posture a little bit, because I know that my posture is just not the best, and I want to work out like I did last year. I actually was almost forced to work out last year, and that's because, so basically, when I am undergoing a lot of stress, I've developed this thing where I have a terrible pain in my chest or on like my side, and it's a like nerve being pinched. Something, I don't know how it happens. Basically, when I have a lot of anxiety, stress, maybe I tend to like curl up in a ball or something. I don't know exactly, because it's subconscious, right? I cannot control it. And then my nerve gets pinched and it hurts so bad for like a week at least. Like, everything hurts. Moving hurts, sitting down hurts, breathing hurts, everything hurts. And the only thing that helps is working out and doing maybe like some stretching poses like yoga. That's the only thing that works as a prevention, or even when I kind of feel it happening again. Nothing else works, okay? Actually, the first time this happened was back in 2022, when I was at a friend's house, and she announced to me that she got pregnant by a guy that was a choice. And I was so shocked that it happened to me, and at first I thought I am having a heart attack. That's how much it hurted. And I texted my friend, my other friend, who's a doctor, and I was like, I'm having terrible chest pains. I don't know if I'm having a heart attack, but I didn't want to show it to the friend that told me the news. So I was just sitting there like in pain, in cramps, thinking how awkward it would be for me to actually have a heart attack right now. Well, since then I'm having trouble sometimes with it, so I can thank my friend for that trauma and her choices in men. Anyways, the baby is cute though, and she likes me, so that was a bit of a TMI, but reading goals, and this year I'm not really setting myself any, to be honest. And usually I would set myself like a goal of, oh, I will read at least 30-40 books this year. Well, in 2024 I am setting maybe like 10-15 max, and that's because I want to focus on writing instead. And sometimes when I'm not like immersed in the books, that's when I get actually creative and I get new ideas to write my own stories. I noticed this last year, so this year I'm still going to like read a few books and like listen to audiobooks, but there are just other things that I want to focus on. So I just thought I would mention it because I always set my reading goals for that year, and this year I'm like, I feel like I have enough other goals already. So okay, finally, and this is, I almost forgot about this, but every year starting from 2023, I think at the beginning of the year, what's one thing that I am terrified of that I would like to do anyway. And this year I've decided that I would like to make a singing ASMR video. At some point it would be like singing you to sleep, but it wouldn't be like regular singing, it would be like quiet singing. But to gain some confidence, I am going to post maybe on Instagram stories every now and then. I don't use my ASMR Instagram like ever, but maybe I should start using it at least like from time to time. So like I'm going to post like some singing audios. I don't know why I'm so scared of it, because I used to be in a choir, and I don't know, it's just something that I've always been low-key insecure about. But this year I'm like, no, I'm going to conquer that fear, and I'm going to do that. So that's also coming up. I have a lot of goals this year, don't I? Well, hopefully I can actually fulfill most of them, right? By the way, I'm using the same 2024 picture in the thumbnail like in my last video because I really like it. And you know, 2024 is the year of the dragon in Chinese zodiac, and I liked this photo the best, so I'm gonna use it again. It is what it is. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time, which will be on Wednesday.